Thank you, Michael, for that kind introduction, and it's great to be here today. As a public official who has placed economic development with particular attention to the manufacturing industry at the top of my agenda, I'm very happy to speak to the first ever statewide Advanced Manufacturing Summit. I'm particularly proud to be here with Secretary Bielecki, who has been a partner in so many efforts, particularly in supporting advanced manufacturing. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for all the great work that you do for the economy here in Massachusetts. And Mr. Secretary, an item that you and I had discussed a couple of weeks or so ago, where we both felt it was necessary and important that we in the legislature draw up what we will call a manufacturing caucus, wherein we'll have representatives and senators meeting on a regular basis to discuss the needs and what we can do as a Commonwealth relative to manufacturing. And I'm pleased to say, Mr. Secretary, that I have, after our discussions, I have set that up, and they will be functioning very, very shortly, and Representative John Fernandez of Milford will be the chair. So thank you for that idea as well. The manufacturing industry has been and will continue to be crucial to the Massachusetts economic growth, as well as job creation and retention in our state. Thank you for your ongoing efforts, and thank you for having me here today. Our ability to innovate will be key to the Commonwealth's future. It's imperative that we work together to find new ways to incorporate manufacturing jobs for employees of all skill levels into existing and emerging industries. When I assumed my speakership in 2009, I began traveling around the Commonwealth, visiting employers and all sorts of businesses. And manufacturers, I found, were a key component of what I was trying to learn about. I visited the Callaway Golf Company, where Chairman Joe Wagner of Economic Development, the author of many different economic development bills, visited Polar Beverages in Worcester, with a gentleman by the name of Jack Healy of the Mass Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and had visited Gillette in Boston. And each of these visits reflected manufacturing's continued presence throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I have to say how surprised I was to find the extent to which these facilities relied upon high technology and robotics to construct their products. In fact, I repeatedly heard that only technology in our state's highly trained workforce allowed them to thrive here. I was very impressed by my visit to the University of Massachusetts at Lowell. In addition to all of the wonderful educational opportunities and all of the growth that's going on there, Chancellor Meehan, who you'll be hearing from, I think, in a little while, showed me the state-of-the-art facilities the university has to support our efforts in this area. In the beginning of my tenure, as the stark realities of the economic downturn were becoming increasingly apparent, my colleagues and I were determined to implement legislation to support an environment for the creation of manufacturing and other jobs. When we passed the gaming bill in 2011, the House fought to include a gaming manufacturing fund. The idea was to bring some 13% of licensing fees to use to support manufacturing. We estimate a revenue floor of some $25.35 million in a number that can grow. But that wasn't enough. We had a clear idea of what we needed to accomplish, and I'm proud to say that we're well on our way. We knew that we needed to devise a means and vehicle to take the conceptual commitment and make it real. And that's exactly what we did with the Economic Development Bill, which was passed this past July, and with the work of Chairman Wagner, who I referred to earlier, and the Chairman of Ways and Means, Brian Dempsey of Haverhill. The results of that legislation are now palpable as our state continues to outclass our closest competitors in a number of key factors. The work we've done so far has been the result of conversations like the ones we're having here today, with a wide variety of stakeholders, including many in the manufacturing community. So I'd like to extend my thanks for your tireless efforts, for your willingness to collaborate, and the work your industry has done in helping to educate a public about the crucial role that manufacturing plays in our economy. I'd also like to thank you in advance for your help as we move from economic growth to a place where our state is thriving. While our 2012 legislation had a number of components, the one I want to emphasize today is its commitment to advanced manufacturing. We created the Manufacturing Futures Program. This year, we were able to extend and enhance the initiative with a close to $19 million budget appropriation. The Manufacturing Futures Program offers grants, loans, and other assistance designed to provide technical assistance to small and mid-sized manufacturing companies, and help companies adopt new technologies through training and encourage technology transfer and research commercialization between research institutions and manufacturers. Meanwhile, Amp It Up, a component of the program that promotes advanced manufacturing to students, has enjoyed great success since it was enacted. As a matter of fact, it was recently, I believe, featured in the NBC's Today Show. I'm so proud of that program. It provides tools and it provides resources so individuals can experience what it's like to work in advanced manufacturing. Amp It Up helps us show students that they can contribute to creating some of the most avant-garde products in the world. We also codified a Massachusetts Manufacturing Collaborative to gather government, industry, and workforce development leaders with the goal of refining and developing our manufacturing agenda, and included a layoff aversion program that provides $250,000 in grant funding for technical assistance through the Small Business Association of New England. And something that will be exciting to see come to fruition in the next few months, we secured a $5 million recapitalization for the Workforce Competitiveness Trust Fund to encourage collaboration between public educational institutions, workforce investment boards, and local employers. This will enable us to fill existing job positions left open because of the skills gap, provide exceptional training, and create a stronger economy for years to come. Soon, the Commonwealth Corporation will issue a new round of these grants to supplement retraining efforts in critical industries such as manufacturing. Additionally, the House has made a commitment to funding higher education and research and development in areas such as manufacturing through state matches to advanced manufacturing R&D and funding for the innovative facilities like Advanced Technology Manufacturing Center in Fall River and the Emerging Technologies and Innovation Center in Lowell. Later today, we will hear from Chancellor Meehan, who I mentioned earlier, and Dr. Martin Schmidt from MIT's Production and the Innovation Economy program. Dr. Schmidt is MIT's Associate Provost and a Professor of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. He has led fascinating research regarding the connection between manufacturing and the innovation process. We also will have Roger Kilmer from NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, at the Federal Department of Commerce here today. Roger is an expert as to how manufacturing research programs can best partner with public and private institutions to meet national needs. It's wonderful to see such a dynamic group of speakers here today. The caliber of this summit's participants is an indication of how much we as a state have to be excited about. So in conclusion, it is my feeling that we have a lot to be optimistic about in Massachusetts. Through the 2012 economic development legislation, the House's budget this year, and legislation that we are currently working on, we are poised, I believe, for incredible growth in the coming years in Massachusetts. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your continued work in this field, and thank you for having me here today.